I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Everybody get parked in the new parking lot down here?
Yes, we did, yep.
I want to thank Rick for kind of spearheading that, and getting that taken care of. Looks good. All we need to do is get her painted, and things will be good. We need to amend the agenda, add a driveway extension for Steve Toole. Other than that, need a motion to approve that.
So moved. Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Minutes. From last week's meeting. Any additions or corrections?
I move the adoption of the minutes as printed.
Second,
I'll second.
any other discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
General public? We're just here for the drainage part, right?
That's fast.
So,
That's fast.
Gee.
well, I guess we can do some committee reports till 8:45.
Okay, I was on the way to Des Moines the other day, and I was talking to Harlan, and he was on the way to a resolutions committee meeting at ISAC. I think there's like 5 or 6 supervisors and ISAC staff, basically working on resolutions for next year's legislative proposals. I'll let Harlan talk in depth about it, because it's his committee, I just got snuck in. But what I came out of there with, main thrust was the gas.
It was on the road road tax funding was the meeting was called for. Bill Heffro kind of put it together and Kara. And I thought what was interesting was DOT Director Rambino came down to the meeting, and he got the impression that the best thing that was gonna happen this year was drop the gas tax to 16 cents a gallon and then go with the 5%, what he calls excise tax at the distributors or whatever.
Hmm.
So he thought that had the best chance of passing, and that would give us the most stable system. But he was talking about, what I thought was real interesting, is one of the other things they were talking about doing is this overweight vehicles. Right now, you got an overweight transformer or whatever you gotta haul, it costs you $10 to get a license to do it. They don't even cover the paperwork. And a lot of other states charge these transporters $300 or $500. So he thinks that will get increased this year. But he said, what I thought was interesting was, they got a computer program that, like John Deere uses. They make a cotton picker down at Ankeny. They can plug into this program and they'll tell them the most efficient way to get it to Atlanta, Georgia, say. And these, and I thought that would be a real interesting program to show at Supervisor's ISAC breakups. He says they got pinpointed down to each county what is the optimum transportation methods, like to get grain to the rail line or to the elevator or whatever. So I thought that's kind of unique. And he talked about, as a farmer, I guess, the transportation costs. Right now, our transportation cost is about 21% of moving product, and that needs to be lowered.
That's a lot.
And he says, Brazil, for example, their production cost of corn or beans is here, ours is up here, but their transportation cost to get it to market puts us up there. And once they get their infrastructure built, they're gonna be a lot lower cost producer than us, so it's important for us to keep our system up to date. And And I guess I just find it frustrating talking to our legislators down there that they don't seem to catch on to that.
They don't see it as an issue yet, do they?
Yeah. So basically, they worked on the wording we wanna put in our legislative priorities,
I
and,
think when the cloud's all cleared, rather than saying 16 cents and 5%, they just say in favor of the hybrid.
yeah.
So we don't get hung up on whether it's 15 cents or 10 cents or...
Yeah. But it was a
And by putting it on the distributor, they don't see it at the pump.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of a sneaky way of getting it. So
We had a
they
farmer
don't
there
see it.
from, one of the supervisors, a farmer from Shelby County, it was really hot to get tax on diesel fuel used on farms. He said, they're ones that are using the road, we ought to have to pay for it. I don't think that'd fly, but that was his opinion.
Yeah, he does a hard sell with the Farm Bureau, I think, getting that.
And I'd argue with that, 'cause the farmers that have semis, they're paying a road fuel.
Yeah, they're
tax
paying,
there, so.
Yeah.
The guy with the wagons and...
The farm equipment.
Then you have to figure out the
Yeah, they-
percentages on the road, it'd be a
Yeah.
difficult
We didn't
thing
spend a lot of
to...
time on that topic, but I was surprised he came out
Yeah.
talking for it.
Maybe they don't have semis down there, I'm kinda
Find out.
surprised.
What date was that meeting?
That was Wednesday.
Wednesday.
What day that was?
24th. That it?
But I got pretty much covered. Went for, what, 3 hours?
Yeah.
4 hours, 3 hours?
That all you did?
That's all I had, the only thing I had this week.
Good.
Okay, Peggy, Tuesday, Rick and I helped get ready for the sale, and then I went out to the sale Tuesday night. Things went real well, I'm thinking they were close to $16,000 on the total sale. Everybody stuck together, so everything's pretty well picked up except for some odd things, so I think it worked out pretty good. Wednesday, then, I had my, community social service meeting, 10 o'clock in Fertile, Iowa. Never been to Fertile, Iowa. Fertile, up east of Forest City on Highway 9. And we went through our budgets, we went through the updated, we had to go through some updated, what am I looking for here? Procedures and procedures and policies for mental health and disability service, so we worked on that a little bit. Nothing new out of the ordinary. I would share this page, this was our estimated Medicare offset for 2015. And you look at Humboldt, our old levy was $473,000. Our redesigned one at the 4728 is $459,000. And for 16, our collections are gonna be $438. And that reduction of $34,000 is 7% down. That goes for change in property tax relief. But there was some interesting ones in here. Like Emmett County went down $385,000, so they're gonna have that's how much property tax relief changed, 47%. Cassuth County went down 39%, they're gonna have $450,000 drop. So this was kind of an interesting picture. So then next year, our, for FY16, our, per capita levy is gonna be $4509, so we'll be under the 4728. And Cassuth their old levy was 74 based on this levy. And they'll go down to 44.98.
So that's why the big drop.
Yeah.
They were
They were way over
We had
collecting.
money in the bank.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why, yeah, it's amazing to me they were collecting that much. There was another one in here that was, I can't see it right now.
I heard some of those farmers up there talking, their taxes went down $300. That's quite a drop.
Emmett County, the one I just told you about earlier, theirs will be $43.03, theirs was $81.12, so that's why they dropped $385. I'll just pass that around, you can glance at that, I don't need it back, share it. And I think everything else was pretty good. Then on, Thursday night at 6 o'clock, we had our CFR meeting, Webster City. Things are kinda interesting there, since 2 years ago when we were about financially broke
Yeah.
and had no money in the bank, can find it. Today, our working capital as of last month was 1.6 million. So he's telling me why I changed, sure, why we gotta change. Actually, right now, we have over $1 million in the bank. So we started talking about the loan we have on the Ames facility building down there. We're paying like 6.5, 6.25 to 6.35 or whatever. And we've got a balloon payment in 16 of $554,000. I said, well, we're not getting any interest on this money. Let's pay that balloon pay, let's pay some of that off. You know,
Yeah.
if you pay that $500,000 off, that's gonna be like $60,000 over 2 years in savings. So I think she was gonna look into that. We still need about, $500,000 in working capital to
So
cash
what
flow.
really changed?
Well, we got a new director, of course, and then the Richmond Center, we weeded that down to the bone as far as what we need to operate there. We were losing $150,000 a month on that, so we're down to losing about $20,000 a month now, which we still have to provide those services, to complete the rest of our services. The detox center has never made a profit. Last month, they had a $3,000 profit. And part of that is, I'd give Brad LaCrone some credit too. He came in there and restructured their rates, with CSS to be more standardized. And whether it's gonna continue or it's working or not, the new Obama plan, there's more people on insurance, so we're actually collecting some money from insurance companies where you don't get it from individuals without insurance. Now, I'm not saying that covers the total cost of all the problems that we've gotta take care of, but apparently we're getting more insurance receipts, so. So we're kinda, and just for Carl's information, for the first time in 10 years, we had a 55-minute meeting. I've never had we've always had a 2-hour.
The time I was there, the big reason we was losing money was the fact that we were providing services, wasn't collecting fees. And you
Right.
submitted a bill for it. It'd be like running a store, you don't charge anybody per product. That's what's happening there. Nobody knew how to bill them.
So we're more attention to those things, but the main thing is, everybody's kinda got on board with Michelle, I think, and it's showing.
Get a new financial officer.
You know what, we haven't yet, and we talked to Jim about that, and he said, well, if things are running, he said, that wouldn't be the most, it's just hard to find the right person in that fit, that don't conflict with your CEO. There's too much authority at the top for this person, so we haven't really found anybody that's worked out yet, so. But if we can pay off that Ames building, then we'd almost be debt-free on our loan side of it, and then we can maybe build some money up down the road if they need to expand their building in Fort Dodge. They got some money to do it with, so. But that was an enjoyable meeting for the first time. We got done in an hour. I don't know if I'll ever see that again, but Clark wasn't there. I'll blame him on that. That's all I have.
Well, all I had this week is I helped Jerry haul 4 trailer loads of stuff from the courthouse out to the sale, and organizing things out there. I sat through the rain and the mosquitoes out there at the sale, and glad to see a lot of that stuff disappear.
Yeah.
It's good. I know, talked to a few of the guys, he said it's gonna be nice to have some room. So,
Okay, Friday the 26th, I had a second judicial meeting in Webster County. We had a carryover of $459,000, and they're starting a new drug court in Webster County, so that's about what it cost a year, so that's probably what that money will be used for. They had some policy changes, and seems like about every meeting we go to, they change some of their policies. I don't know why, but they do. They word them different, so. Betty McCarthy has been on that board for 30 years, and I recognized her for her service.
Where's she from?
I'm not just sure where, I think over, it would be north of I'm sure that, yeah, she's been on that board for a long time. She's just a delegate now. She used to be a county supervisor at one time. Yeah. But I guess, that was about all I had.
Okay, Peggy, all I had was at the ISAC road use tax fund meeting on the 24th. Okay, need a motion to go to drainage.
So, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Hey, just so you guys know, the next, CSS meeting is gonna be in Wright County, it's closed if for some reason you might want, and it's on October 22nd, it'll be at 10 o'clock, it's a Wednesday. Just, I'll let you know when it gets closer, I'm not sure, I think the last time they had it in the museum, I'm guessing that's probably where they'll have it again, the Heartland Museum. But it's kinda close, I thought, well, it just depends what you're doing, you might be interested in slipping over for an hour. So, Carl, where was Clark's mother from? Was she from?
I don't know.
You just said.
Just read that in the paper, I didn't.
I couldn't figure out why he missed both meetings, that's usually not like him. Nobody said why he wasn't there, I didn't realize his mom had died.
She read it in the Messenger this morning, so I don't know.
She's from Fort Dodge, probably is.
Didn't his dad run that shop before he took
That's
the
kinda
local
what I
people, I
think.
think?
You run the what?
That's your cabinet shop.
Oh, yeah.
I think his
His
dad
probably
had this
wasn't.
originally.
Need to sign this?
Oh, you will.
And this is the day estimate. Number 13.
Not too bad.
More you get to sign something, your life. You got a check underneath of it.
Okay, day estimate 13. Machine construction.
Got it?
That's the one that pays up to where what you're holding still is liquidated damages. You still have $78,000 some dollars held even after this. This just pays up the quantities. That's what it does. 4,896, yeah, so.
Okay.
We need a motion to do this.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve pay estimate number 13 to Shaney Construction.
Is there a second?
I'd second the motion.
Second. Any other discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Gonna be opening the bids at 9 on DD 125.
Good stories to tell us, huh?
Yeah, maybe a little, but, not a lot of calls on the job. Deep job, pretty big pipe, 10 or 11 plan holders, but I really only heard from 2 or 3 of them as far as questions, so I'm concerned on what we're gonna get for bids.
You haven't picked them up yet, or they still?
There's one out here is all, so far.
Just one?
Yeah,
Seriously?
seriously.
Nobody in the hallway either.
Well, one contractor that turned it in said he saw another contractor out in his pickup, probably
Jeez,
last
one
minute
bid,
changes or
it'd
something.
be hard to go
Yeah.
on one bid.
Yeah.
How about an update out here on 3? How we doing out there?
I haven't been out there today, but he was doing real well. He's worked his way quite a ways west, through the project. It's been going way better than the start. I mean, way better. Yeah, real tough to start with. We're checking on it every 2-3 days.
How far would they be if you were to guess as far as pipe in the ground? Over half?
Oh, yeah, well over half.
Two-thirds, maybe?
2/3 about, I would say. Yep.
And you talked about that intake and that?
Yes, yep. And I just talked to him last week again about it, just verifying which side of the road, we were gonna put it, so.
Put it on the west side if you want to.
Oh, okay.
Better.
Okay. Now you tell me.
In some ways it would,
Yeah.
because it's gotta go underneath that road.
Yeah.
And when it gets there, it really backs up there.
True.
If you could just eliminate some, because it's still gonna go under the road.
Oh, yeah, you
But
won't
if you
take it
get
at
the
all.
big surface, it
Yeah.
would probably be good.
Yep. Well, I can talk to him too, no problem with the change yet, 'cause they'll come back and put those in, so.
Are they to that point where the old bypass was?
Yeah, they're past that.
They're past that.
Yeah,
okay.
mhm,
I
yeah.
know there were some concerns about sand out in there, I was wondering how that...
That's what I told them, and they quietly just went through that area with no problem. So I was pleasantly surprised at that, yeah. I was expecting some issues there.
Yeah.
Because we're just a few feet away from where they had these problems before, so.
Well, some of the earlier ones, they weren't expecting, and it was kinda like a reverse.
Yes, yeah, reverse deal, exactly. That's right, so. I guess I could tell you about a phone call I had mid to late week last week, with the issues on the DD2 job and the estimate you just approved now, another one of the sons for Richard Cheney called me and said they're gonna put mechanics liens on the land that we went through to try and get these damages settled. So, we'll see what happens with that. And I guess an example of how extra cost could be, the Davises are standing firmly that $39,000 they asked for was just because of the project. How do you prove or disprove it?
It's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough, either way. So, I'm not sure where this will go. We'll take all the claims, we'll analyze them as best we can, we'll come back with a summary, and I just did a small update on the one I had for you last week, one that Trish had that I didn't have. Submit it, you'll take action, and then you see what happens. I don't know, how do you prove or disprove the crop loss? It's a tough question, so.
Bad news.
Yeah,
Would you be a resource?
possibly, because he could meet with the landowners and see what...
We had that year where there was a lot of prevent plant.
I know.
If
It's a
all
wet
the
spring.
neighbors didn't prevent
Mhm.
plant, how do you say that they would have been able, you just don't know.
He
Yeah.
did have his crop in.
Oh, he did?
Yeah,
So he had the whole crop
He
in?
had it all in and then it
Oh.
flooded out because he...
Well, then he's
Oh,
gonna have a
I
better
know.
case, he'll have a better case to some
I thought he
degree.
didn't plant it, yeah.
yeah, I do believe he got it planted, but you know, how much would he have lost
True.
anyway?
He
I don't
took
know.
it. I guess what he was telling me is he took an average of the rest of the field that was, it was still, it should have been a 200 bushel a year, and I think it ended up to be 160 for the rest.
Okay.
And then the spots were obviously less.
Mhm.
So are we figuring to yield off the 160 or the two,
Oh,
okay, so he's not being too outrageous then.
Right, right.
But how many acres, yeah?
Mhm.
Because some of that would have probably drowned out anyway.
Right.
And then
Possibly,
what's
yeah.
your federal crop, you know, if I've already, you know, I don't know how much you could do on this.
See, and if it, you know, if this goes further, do they have to
Maybe
produce?
doesn't have federal crop, too, you know.
Well, that's possible too, you know, and if it goes further, do they have to produce records of that, you
Go
know?
by some kind of an average.
So, I don't know.
We may have to take some time on that part of it.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
rest of them should get cleaned up pretty,
yes, oh, I think so.
I mean, the more we get cleaned out, we can show evidence that they aren't gonna get that 78,000, I mean, this has to cover these costs.
Right,
The cleaner that gets.
right, that's right. We'll get it narrowed down to hopefully just a small handful of things to deal with, yeah,
And was Cheney gonna wanna get his own crop expert for the street?
probably.
I would think he would.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a fair sum of money.
That's a fair
Oh,
amount
yeah.
of money.
Absolutely, yeah, I would assume so. So, you know, hopefully the facts can be presented.
Negotiating.
Exactly, get all the facts presented.
And well, it'd be better for everybody.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Mhm.
It gets very expensive to build that route.
And nobody wants this one behind us more than me.
Your hair's changed color.
I think so, just in the last few months.
Well,
So, yeah,
we're gaining.
yeah, absolutely. Adding the one that, Trish had, I didn't have on here before, yeah, the amount, let's see, total claims like was $31,000 plus, so it's,
That isn't including the Davis.
right, that's just 10% of the Davis one. So we'd have to add another 30 about onto there.
It's Just about what we're holding back.
Yeah, we're over 60, well over 60.
Can't
Yeah.
do much more until we get this resolved.
That's right,
Mhm.
exactly, so.
Okay.
Let's see, anything in particular on 125 ahead of time? I don't think so. Route stayed the change, it's the same, we've got a sedimentation basin planned on it at the north end of Gary Nave's, field there. We've got a small pond on Mark Dickey's ground to try and clean up the water and slow it down.
What's the sedimentation thing gonna look like?
Just a grass area that, water fills in and...
Filters through it?
Yeah, filters through it.
Surface water?
Yep. From our calculations, we feel it won't be needing cleaning more often than once in 10 years. Relatively inexpensive, just to clean the silt out and get rid of it and get the grass reestablished.
So do we have, does the district have to buy land to cover this, or
Essentially, yes. We'll call it a permanent easement, but it's gonna be,
a purchase type?
yeah, yep.
How many acres was that, maybe?
That one was over 2.5 acres
Okay.
total, to have air space around it to
Okay.
control it.
Sure.
So, it could be eliminated, it's just way better if we have it. The rest of the project doesn't have to have that function at all. It just clears up the water that gets to the river. So, yeah, it's a good thing if we can keep it in there.
Do that.
Yeah, so.
You saw the letter from Dave Johnson on the request for review, 125?
Yeah.
126?
Yeah. I was happy inside when we got past the deadline and I hadn't heard anything, but I'm still skeptical whether we were gonna hear something on that, but...
They may not hear it, though.
Yeah,
They may not take it up.
that's right, that's right. I mean,
See where they dialed into the system, I don't know.
yeah,
Upstairs, quick.
Do it right now.
You gotta wait 5 minutes, guys.
yes, we gotta check the drawer and,
Receiving a benefit.
That's right.
they've since hooked into the new system with new connections, so,
Unless the 125, you go down and get the one south of Highway 3.
no.
Higgins.
No, there's one in south end of section 29, but that's almost 2 miles north, isn't it? Yeah, or a mile north?
It's a mile north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't go down and get...
We've got it in there as an optional bid. We
To get that one?
To get it, yeah.
Okay.
And it depends on how the money comes out. 'Cause DNR has called me a couple times asking the status of that one, if it's gonna be part of the project, and I said, call me, and I was talking to him last week, I said, call me next week after Monday, and we'll see where the bid prices were. Because the state knows that this would be the best time to pick it up, probably the most economical. We've got, I don't remember the footage of pipe, but just pipe down to
Depth
it.
and so forth will...
It will work to catch it, yes,
Will.
yep, it will, so.
Did you ever talk to Scott Mansky on that 103 up there?
I sent them something, 'cause I couldn't get a hold of him.
'Cause we were debating plastic or concrete, you know?
Yep,
And he said he wouldn't do it if it was
yeah,
concrete.
and I gave him the word on the plastic and...
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
so, hopefully he then follows up with it,
Yeah,
so.
there's still beans on the ground, so he won't start until after.
Oh, yeah, 'cause a lot of beans are coming out even. Yeah,
Now they are, yeah.
yeah, right now, yeah. So that's the deal.
2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Should I go check?
Yeah, I suppose. You have a letter opener too, or somebody has?
Somebody got a letter?
Here you go.
Oh, he's got one?
I got a frost saver here.
Do ya? Oh, okay.
Don't want that, though.
Maybe I do.
Brother, start priming.
They just finished up cutting silage.
You know,
They do some for
We're just gonna read the totals on it.
Iowa Core, so,
Yeah, good idea.
oil company. Outside over there.
Oh, it's John.
John, okay.
Sure.
You know, that last struggle, things just kept breaking down, and then when the work broke down, it was raining.
This time, but,
Yeah.
Two.
People are going, two,
Yeah.
there's a little more yellow.
6, 7, 8...
Well, and on these bigger jobs, we just put out the pipes, so they didn't have to worry about that, so it makes it a lot simpler after today.
Not getting much wind done.
It's a nightmare for us when we,
So
So we gotta be sure the materials are there, and if there's changes, and, yeah.
That's not a good sign.
No, no. It's deep, part of it.
Cattle this winter?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're buying,
The numbers are good enough.
paying $1,500 for a 400-pound calf.
Doesn't it just seem like gold?
You don't wanna lose it.
You don't.
Got what?
We got the estimates there.
5 calves.
We got your estimates.
Try to make butcher
well,
and you lose one.
well, I've got-
You take 2 years.
You know, the thing that was back, you know.
Down the bottom of my file.
When they're,
Here's a
30
phone
or
call.
whatever, you can get $500, if you lose one, if you're making $200 a head, it's, that's
My
like
estimates are on the right hand side of each.
Now you lose 1,500 head, you're losing 7, you drop out 7 of them.
You bought 25, you ain't doing so good.
No, I tell you, you gotta be careful.
Gotta keep them healthy.
Yeah, that's a big thing. But I think he sold 800 pounders and almost got $2,000.
Yeah. Extra one of these, I haven't had too many of those.
1,900 some dollars for 800.
This is one of those, this can write the total on it.
It's not bad.
It is, it's crazy.
Have
Crazy.
bids for both sides.
Right.
Yeah, I would say so.
The bell just rang.
This, is the project just northeast of Gilmore, large pipe, deep. We had like 10 or 11 plan holders, just got questions from 2 or 3 of them, so I'm not surprised there aren't very many bids. We have just 2 bids here. First one is from H&W Contracting out of Sioux Falls. I'll open the bid box first. Bid box has been provided.
Not very sharp knife, is it?
No!
I'll try to do better next time.
It works though.
Sharpen that for the meeting.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, okay, the half-inch drainage coefficient for this H&W is $2,025,594.05. 2,025,594.05. And I'll read the optional bid. This is if we extend south to catch that last egg well. The pipe on that would be $84,028.50, and the egg well closure $500. Okay, the total bid on the 1 inch, $2,693,590.70. 2,693,590.70. The next one is from Denver Underground, Denver, Iowa. Bid bond has been provided. The bid on the half-inch drainage coefficient, $1,882,591 even. 1,882,591.00. And the bid on the 18-inch pipe extension is $63,909. The ag well closure, $1,500. The bid for the 1-inch coefficient, total, $2,518,223 even. 2,518,223.00. Next, the extension pipe is $80,478, ag well closure, $1,500. We'll check through this, with the dollar amounts, you wanna work with the state and see what their, Mike Borland said they have some money left in contingencies for these kinds of things. So we'll wanna check the numbers, get the numbers to him, see what they can do for total, grant, and then I'd say have it on the agenda for next week to discuss this as far as whether you're gonna award or not, or we take a step back and look at another step on this, so. But,
Good.
yeah, we'll just table any action on these till next week and get that all summarized, so. And we'll wanna look at it too and see if there's anything we can eliminate, to make a difference here.
You don't know how big the pot was that might have to work.
No, he wasn't too willing to give me any numbers.
Probably
I can
can't.
understand that.
Yeah, so, but yeah, these are good for at least 30 days, and like I say, we'll try and have the information put together so you can be working on a decision for next week.
Okay, well, we aren't gonna award it, so what are we gonna do here? Just table it till next week?
Yeah, yeah, that'd be the best. I'll check through these and come in and fill you in a little bit yet.
Yes, indeed.
You got a lot on, I see you had a whole long list with Paul. You'll be around quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
Closed session with the county attorney.
We'll be here a while.
That's right, okay.
Want to do it like 9 o'clock? You don't have anything on the agenda? No?
John Torberg and before that.
He's at what?
Oh, he's coming.
6? Okay, can we do it at 9 o'clock?
Sounds good.
That's a 6.
Okay.
I got a question.
Sure.
Rick,
Yeah,
when you go through my farm, I don't want any of my tile hooked up to it. I'm already totally tiled. I got a big main coming through there. I don't want you to have anything to do with it.
okay.
Have I got an option?
Well, yeah, we can not hook you up, I mean, that's always an option. There might be some kind of a levy yet, though, just because what the drainage attorneys tell me is to pay something for the availability of the pipe. Now, any easements and everything may completely take care of that,
But I mean, I'm gonna be paying 100 and some acres there. That's not gonna do me one bit of good. I've already got all my tile in. I don't want you to touch me. I don't wanna have to pay anything on that 100 some acres. Why should I? When you're going 30 feet in the ground just to get to an outlet.
yeah. Well, and again, there'll need to be...
Same thing as Phil Ames out there, same thing as that.
There'll need to be a reclassification. Until that's done, we won't know how commissioners are gonna look at that, having it go through there. But we do know that we'll have something fairly soon that would tell you what you'll get for payment for easements. But
Payment for what kind of easement?
well, there'll be a permanent easement through there where the tile goes. I mean, you'll farm over it just like it wasn't there, but there'll be a permanent easement, and there'll be payment for that. And there'll be payment for crop loss.
When would it start? The crop's already out.
Yeah, well, and we don't know when this'll start. There's actually enough time in the contract that they could wait and start in the spring, and probably get it all done. So, if it's awarded, well, the guy right there might be in the machine if it's awarded. Are you looking at this fall yet to start, or is that a little uncertain yet?
It's somewhat uncertain, weather dependent.
Okay, okay,
And the outlet is gonna be on the other side of the road down there.
yes, yes.
And we should have talking about some kind of a pond in my...
Basin, yeah, grass
What was
basin. Well, that's,
Nobody's asked me, I mean, you can just go in and do that?
we showed it in the original report, preliminary report, as a silt
Not gonna do any
basin.
good.
Well,
There's 150 acres, 200 acres comes down through there, anything you put in there is just gonna over that fast. It's like a river, there's nothing you do about it. I got terraces all over up in there.
well, we've gone through a calculation based on the area that drains to that spot, and sized it accordingly. Might boil and review all this, especially with the prices we got. It'd be a much simpler project if we eliminate it. I mean,
Well, I mean, how come you can just go and do that without asking me or you? What's the deal? That has nothing to do with the tile, your tile's going underneath it, why do you gotta have that?
same outlet, lot of silt, our tile will help carry it on down the river, I guess, is about all. Because anything that went under the road from your field will be carried
Perfect
on.
scenario, would be put it across the road. You got a nice grass, that's all grass, put a dam across the road.
And we're doing that too, yeah, to help clean it up some more. But the major silt area, we wanna stop it before that, so. Now, we won't know for sure if this is gonna be eliminated or not, well, I hope we can decide within a week,
I'll have to look.
as far as whether to eliminate that or not.
Find out.
I can't understand why you can do
Trish.
something
Trish.
Well,
without
I
asking.
had the original petition signed for this.
It's shown in the preliminary engineering report as a sediment
Nobody
basin.
ever said anything to me about it.
Well,
It's
You
got
just go in and do my,
Right,
whatever you want on my
right.
ground, that's why I own it.
true, I guess I wouldn't put it that way. We can do a project, and those improvements depend on the final design. But the preliminary report did show a sedimentation basin on your ground.
I tell you, one big rain and that's gonna be all full and not do any more good.
POT.
Calculations don't show it that way, but, so what happens with the silt that gets there now? I mean,
This, what silt there is now, it's mostly corn
Oh,
stalks.
okay, you're just absentee landowner.
Okay.
And then there's some silt.
What's his first name?
Down there.
Roger.
okay.
But that's got such a nice grass, it used to be all mud and cattle were across the road.
Mhm.
Put in a little dam there and it'll be the same thing as putting it on my side, it'll do a lot more good.
It's hard to get the large flat area north of the road, because the ground comes up so fast. Well, we've got, you can see the contour lines are close together as we get that shape. But yeah, we had topography of it so that we could figure an actual design for quantities to move, quantities of dirt to move.
And what's that gonna do there then?
The north one's just gonna help clean it up some more and slow the surge down.
But the one in my field, what's that gonna do?
Catch the silt.
How big a area?
The total area is over 2 acres.
So I'm just gonna lose 2 acres of ground.
Yes. Yes. If this is built, yes. That is true.
But you can
And
pay
what
for
if I,
that.
what?
We
Yeah, you get,
actually purchased that.
yeah.
Does he get paid for them 2 acres?
Yes, oh yeah, yeah. It'd be,
I'm forced into selling it to you.
part of drainage is that way, yeah. With any improvement, you file this report for an appraisal report, and then how much land is affected, and myself and 2 appraisers put a value on it, and then we have a hearing on it, where you can make a presentation on whether you think it's fair or not, the amount. But, yeah, they have the procedure in the drainage law. It's, you know, I hate to even, it's like eminent domain almost, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just handled a little differently in drainage.
What have you decided with the other sink wells going the other way? This is not taken care of to the south. What are you gonna do with them now?
We've submitted a report to the state to take those, well, the one ag well in the south end of 29, they may have to just wait until some additional funding's available and tie that into this system. But the ones a little east of there, they're gonna actually go northeast into the river. I forget how many of them there
Well,
were.
why is it you don't take this whole thing that way, the way the water runs?
We have to improve every district, every creek, all the way to the river, because it's pushed so tight already for capacity. That's the whole thing. We looked at that.
This water all goes that way now, the surface water. You're talking about the water that's ponded, is what you're getting rid of, and that isn't gonna amount that much. That goes that way, you say it don't, but it does.
It could be taken that way, yeah, it could be.
Why is it you don't do that?
Because of how much system we'd have to upgrade to get it away. I mean, we went through that with this other report with these other ag wells, because we looked at the possibility of going southeast with those. The dollars were just incredibly high compared to taking it to the northeast, the other ones that we did a report on.
I don't understand, I can't take water from one watershed to another, but you people can, what's the deal?
Well, in ponded water, you have some flexibility where you can take it. And the big thing is, I guess trying to think through this, if you change watersheds, you're liable for any damage you create. But if you take it to the river without damaging anybody, what's the harm to the people, I guess, that you go through? Because you're providing the drainage, not hurting their, land.
So the harm to me is a big expense if you don't, I mean, I'm gonna have to pay big bucks for you to go through there. Yeah, that'd be harm to me.
No, you're not gonna pay big bucks, because I feel
Well,
like...
I think he's saying if he's not gonna hook onto it,
Oh,
then he's gonna be assessed for it, or he's gonna be...
yeah, you'd still,
appraised.
because the drainage attorneys, two different ones I've talked to say you're paying for the availability of the system.
But that being said, anybody also can say they're not gonna tie into it, eventually they could, or
Yeah.
would. So somebody would have to monitor that, so...
Yeah, how many people have
Gary
been...
probably won't, maybe he would.
Yeah.
Maybe the next guy
Yeah,
will,
he's got a good enough system. Thanks, Kevin.
but the
Yeah.
next guy might.
We'll be talking.
Yep.
See you.
See ya.
Yep.
Well, then they'd have to pay it, but I've got two good houses in Advertising, and a big 28-inch main down there, and,
Now, is it outlet there, like by that structure at the...
in that structure.
Okay.
In style.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking that somebody even told me
Which
30.
way's yours go, Gary?
Right, that way.
Goes the same direction this one's going, or the
Oh,
opposite?
yeah, that's
Okay.
the flow of water. The break is the road.
Okay.
The gravel road, south of my place, is the break in the watershed. Everything
How
goes
big
that
is
way.
that,
And I mean,
28.
it's a regular river.
Is that big
When
enough to
it
handle
gets
it?
floods,
This
the
one
water
there?
goes clear
Oh,
down
no, they're putting that...
south, big time, for
The
days.
neighbors must not talk to each other.
As it builds up, a lot of it does go south, yeah. But the idea is to accomplish the level of drainage you want at the most economical cost without damaging.
We'll take it the other way, the project probably won't go through.
Not a chance.
You're gonna have to live with snag wells, maybe that's the point we'll get to.
And it might get to that,
We may be
there,
there
it's
now.
cost prohibitive, yeah. We're close,
Because what I'm hearing from Gary, I think you better make it clear with Mike what his opinion is before we start
Yeah.
this project. Whether Gary's right or wrong is immaterial, but
Yeah.
if it's gonna be a drawn-out effect, and the costs are, to me, it's, right now, we're 45% higher than your estimate.
Yeah.
I don't think it's reasonable now.
it's high, it's very high.
And if the farmers come in and say, well, why are we paying more than what we had on these last ones? We need, they're gonna have to voice their opinion.
Yeah.
If they
Oh,
pay
yeah.
too much money,
Yeah.
they better be telling us.
Who's gonna distinguish whether it's half inch or inch coefficient? Just like that one, that DD2, that should be an inch, and it was half.
This
It's right
one,
in that right here, but I had
No.
my mind up my, you know what that morning.
I know, and Bob Lynch said the same thing about, should be 1 inch, and I agree. But the-
Only I and Bob Lynch here, that morning.
Well, there were others here that expressed half inch.
Well, yeah, I didn't have to spend the money.
That's right.
well, I think the difference,
we go
Oh.
off what the majority of the...
Yeah.
I think when you see the bids on these, the inch is gonna be that much harder to sell on.
Yes, it is,
Oh,
absolutely. What you'll wanna end up with is a summary of, okay, here's where we're at with it now, here's the maximum grant available, here's what the average cost per acre is gonna be, based on all that.
Right.
It's gonna be a lot higher
I
than
think
they
if you go
expected.
to inch, those people are not gonna have better drainage, because those sink wells, the majority of them, I mean, they'll scare you. They suck water so hard and fast. Mine-
So, yeah, that's, some of them are really good.
On that one hydro place, that, they're dead.
But nothing saying the state won't say, hey, it's 2019, 2020, you got a year to close that well. Then what do you have? Then you can't use it, you close it. Well, it's like you talk there, you'd create a pond or whatever, and just not farm a small area.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think, I would just soon take that piece out of production.
Yeah, and other people have that idea too, so. But yeah, you need a summary where that's gonna be, and the landowners need that. I remember two working out to be like $250-some an acre average after the grant for the half-inch, and a little over
You have a
500.
meeting, and there's no farmers here, it's gonna be up to you guys to say half or inch, and you're gonna say half,
Yeah,
and those people are gonna be disappointed, because they're not gonna have the drainage.
it's like,
Now, when
Yeah.
I did when they changed their, remonstrance, decision, or objection, a lot of them did put inch,
huh,
but that was based on the...
based on the other, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm
it's a-
thinking, even at this
Better
next meeting...
let them know.
Yeah, you'll probably want an informal meeting before the 30 days is up on these bids, with the cost summary and what the average cost is gonna be, before you make your decision, 'cause it's...
Before you award them.
Before you award, yeah, it's a lot of dollars.
We wouldn't wanna award next week then, would we?
Probably not, we'll just have as much more information as we can for you to evaluate. To me, with the dollars, well, and Gary is right, you want the input.
But if you don't have the input and it's up to you guys, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna say half, or are you gonna say inch?
Well, first we gotta wait and see if Mike will approve this much of an increase.
Yeah.
That'd be the first thing.
We'll get them a summary to at least have them be able to
Then,
think about it.
if they're willing to fund it at the half inch, then it's strictly up to the landowners from the half to inch to
Yeah.
decide if they wanna pay that additional amount. And then the second thing will be to have conversation with Mike where you're at in your position as far as this water area, plus what the assessment, I think he needs to know what his assessment might be based on this, so he knows
The
what we're
assessment's
up
gonna be a
against.
lot higher.
Because you're gonna get assessed even if you
Yeah.
don't look into it, and you know that, so
Yeah.
you need to know that.
Well,
Yeah.
I wanna know that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, I think he's gonna have to get some figures
Yeah.
like that before we even make a decision.
Well, I've got the appraisal report ready to meet with the appraisers. I hope to meet with them yet this week to give, and we probably, I don't know that we'll formally file it until we might be able to make the decision without even filing that we're not gonna do the sedimentation basin, based on the bids, getting the price of that down a little bit.
Because what I'm getting,
If it's not acceptable, you may as well figure out another lawsuit.
I'm saying there's probably a pretty good chance, Rick, isn't it, that if, that's brought up as concern, he's still gonna get assessed very close to what he would've if he's using it.
Yeah.
So Gary needs to know that up front. If that's
Yeah.
what it is, don't sugarcoat it.
Then you're gonna...
No.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You're gonna have another lawsuit in your hand.
I'm just saying, you need to
Finish the
know.
one yet that you got against you. You all know that.
Well, yeah, we need more facts. What, is there more grant money? What is the bottom line for the landowners? Yeah, what might his be? What might be a levy compared to what he'd get for payment? The payment would be significantly less if it's not putting in the sedimentation, if it's just the easement.
Well, what if Mike says this is too much, we should've had more bids, that'd be number one. If you
Yep,
buy
yep.
that, my next question is, if he's not happy, is there any way to get around his land so he can't ever hook into it and we don't go through his land?
No,
Then it might not be,
But-
it might not fly.
well, but a lot of it through his is deep and it's not practical for him to hook in to.
Okay.
The only place that's maybe, the most practical place is on the lateral to go up close to the ag.
So then that's gonna get back to what his assessment is, what
Yeah,
he's gonna base his
yeah.
There's
information
no
on.
way that anybody'd ever wanna hook onto that. I mean, it could be put in the farm's abstract of the sold, no way you can hook into it. Neighbors will know that, I don't know, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I don't need it at all.
But you still have common outlet.
Yeah, there's still it's
How do
still,
you address that?
well, we'll work with the commissioners and,
Mike,
drainage
see where
attorney
you're
and,
at.
see how that'll all work together. Now, this will probably not happen, but if there is anywhere along there that a future owner might wanna hook up, we could stub a tile connection up closer to the ground, just to have it available, for minimal cost. Maybe there's no pockets or anything we'd have to worry about. Okay,
It's just, I got all good tile up here. It's-
Sure. okay.
I gotta go. Question, when are you gonna get the camera going here so we can watch this on TV? What's that?
right there.
You got it
It's
on?
going.
When can you watch
Well,
it?
she's trying to get, the guys who put it in, something with the YouTube or something, we can't quite get hooked up. We recorded them all.
She was here working on it, was it Friday night? She was here with the guy working,
Oh, was she?
yeah, trying to get it, so.
So it's gonna be so we can watch it anytime on the computer or,
I believe so, yeah.
So,
but you don't know when?
well,
Shouldn't be too long, I wouldn't think.
I don't know.
You've been trying.
She's been trying, but
Yeah.
the guy up there that installed this, she hasn't been able to get him to come down here. Some little glitch or something with his computers, so.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get you more information, and it just seems appropriate for an informal, meeting with the landowners. You're gonna want as much input as you can get.
We have a lot of landowners involved here. How are we gonna get those people aware of what's happening?
Oh, letter.
Just send him a letter.
Yeah, there's
This
no,
catch basin he's talking about, is that part of this cost, or is
yeah,
that?
it's in here, yeah.
It's in here.
Yeah, it's in here. And the catch basin will not affect the capacity of the tile we're proposing. It just will help clean up the water that ends up there.
So then you're talking about this other grassland or whatever where you're going on, well, that's part of this project?
Yes,
Also
yes.
building that dam and all
Yeah,
that?
and that's not a big, that's
And
much
that's-
smaller.
And that's to catch the surface runoff.
Yes,
From the
and,
area.
well,
Slow it down.
the second one is to catch, is our pipe water goes through, and it minimizes the surge. There was a lot of concern on the
So it isn't to
ravine.
remove nitrates or?
No,
that?
no.
It isn't one of those?
The south one will take out some because it's catching the sediment. And so, yes, it will help, but it's not designed specifically for that. The main purpose is to catch the silt. Yeah,
So
Martigesis.
these costs are for the
Whole thing,
All that.
yeah, yep.
Do you think they'll be favorable with 145% of the cost estimate?
Depends on the size of the pot he has available. What he, talking
But
to
I
Mike...
think he needs to know these concerns. with
Oh, yeah,
Gary, because
absolutely.
We're not
Yeah.
ready to go down that road, just
No.
to close egg wells if we're gonna fight this.
No, that's right, that's right.
I mean, we can let this thing lay a while, if you can't get people to support it, it has to lay.
That's right, yeah, that's,
I mean, there will come a time when you're gonna meet resistance on the value versus the, the gain.
yep, well, and that's
It may
the,
not be there for most people in this project, but if it's we get a drug out situation, it's not worth crossing that.
That's right.
We need to figure these things out before we go that route.
yeah, oh, yeah,
We
yeah.
don't wanna tie this up.
That's right. We'll be able to put facts and figures together. We can figure out what we can take out of the project if we don't do the silt basin. It's mostly an environmental thing that we're doing. This was an opportunity to include it with the project.
Right.
Is it needed for the project itself, the drainage we're talking about? No, not in the least.
And in some fairness, over the last 100 years, we haven't done drainage projects that you have to bury them 30 foot deep.
Oh, yeah, that's
So this
unusual.
is a new twist. So,
Yeah,
not to say that somebody wouldn't wanna tile into that at some point, but the reason to go in, I mean, it's pretty deep. I mean, you're really getting tiled down there, even for
Mhm.
private tile to make.
oh, yeah, absolutely.
Even if you bring connection up for them.
By far, the way biggest benefit is the south half of this project. Yeah, there's a
And that's
lot
why I
of,
think we're getting pushed back from the other side, because there, some are gonna benefit, others won't.
Mhm. And that's covered in the reclassification to best of everybody's ability. Well, it's like, I think of,
But I think the ones in the north are gonna wanna know what their cost is
Yeah.
gonna be before you start.
DD 61, Struthers, Paul Jacobson Farms out there, his averaged over $1,500 an acre, some of it almost 2,000, 'cause he had a 40-acre, 50-acre pond that sat
Right.
there 2 months at a time, so...
Couldn't they assessed to be very minimal, if he can't...
Yes, I have not run through numbers, but I believe any payment he received for easements would cover any levy.
Cover the levy, yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's gonna need to know that up.
Yeah. That's right.
Well, I think first step is to find out from Mike just where we're at on this.
Yep.
Yeah, whether it's even a possibility of going through it, maybe just thrown in the circular
In my
file.
mind, if it was me bidding something for myself, and I had, it'd be too high, I'd want to take a step back and look at it
Yeah,
later.
decide what else you could do.
See what else you could do.
We do, I mean, we have that sedimentation basin that is not improving the drainage quantity for this project. It's a logical thing financially to drop it out. But I wanna work through that with you.
Yeah, well, get some more information.
Yep.
And you look at the profit per acre, these next couple of years is
Yeah.
gonna be real
Really
good.
different story too.
Yeah,
Right.
well, and that's, yeah. Actually, the ones now that, if they hadn't planned for it, the ones that, the projects were done a year or two ago when their payments are coming due when the crop is down,
Yeah.
hopefully the crop's back up significantly in the next couple of years. Yeah.
Well, you'll have more for us next week. I think.
Absolutely, yeah. This is just the first step.
These motions on drainage.
I move by drainage.
I'll second that. Aye.
Didn't even mention the lawsuit, you wanna wait for Terry for the full session?
I hate them.
Yeah,
Hate
well,
'em.
yeah,
Yeah, we better,
let's do that.
because we'll have to make a motion. Well, I wonder if, bidding the concrete with the contractor hurt us on this, or we just,
I don't know. I think some, because some smaller contractors could do it, but it's deep.
You'd have to
that's
That's
gonna be
big.
the biggest thing, you know what, the equipment.
Yeah.
There's a lot, maybe there's unknowns that they're, had to program in.
Yeah.
Is that one of those deals where they dig down 2-3 tiers at a time?
It'd take two, yeah, they figure, well, as a matter of fact...
The other thing is, you know, maybe there's enough other work picking up that people don't wanna take on
That
extra.
could be it too.
Yeah, it's possible, and I think the concrete pipe price has gone up significantly.
Sometime, a good.
I'm hoping to see some actual prices on pipe, because I feel like they're taking their big bite.
Because, you know, Paul said the box culverts went up 30 or 40%.
I think
Can you
that's,
imagine, having a broken tile 30 feet down, and have to get somebody to fix it?
yeah, think of the cost and
I mean,
difficulty.
there's gonna be,
I think a lot of it is the materials. I'm hoping somebody's willing to show me a price on the materials for this
Is
job.
John out there?
So, oops, excuse me.
He's up next.
well...
So, yeah, there's several items,
Is John
several
the
factors.
other attorney, is he gonna be?
It says John Beatty.
Okay.
You
know that other fiasco?
Not yet, I brought stuff with me and maybe catch you later, but...
Did we call him, see if he's
Yeah.
coming down?
Yeah, I just came directly here today.
Good.
So,
No, I didn't. In trouble again?
Yeah.
We just had left it open, haven't touched it, so you
Okay.
can try to see what you think.
Okay, okay. Very good.
Maybe he's coming. John, we're ready for you.
I think Carl went up there too. Just to...
Oh, is he the one coming up today? Okay, we'll look for him, I don't see him yet, but...
Parking lot looks nice.
Okay.
Actually, it looks like water.
Okay, very good.
From the courthouse instead of it now.
It kinda does, doesn't
Okay,
it?
thanks.
You guys
Perfect.
did it right this time.
Okay, maybe he's lost, no, we'll look for him. Thanks, John. Yep, bye. Yeah, it's not John, it's the other attorney.
Oh,
Oh, the other guy? The one that did the
What?
depositions?
okay.
Yep.
We need to amend our agenda.
Oh, man. We don't need another...
John, use the restroom while we're waiting.
We don't need another lawsuit, do we?
Yeah, this address to me, that's addressed to
You
John
wanna go
Meyer.
into session, we'll hit something.
Oh, that would've been mine. Well, that would've been mine, I'll look at it. Let me
Then no
see.
snow removal.
There's a check in it, I'm keeping it, Peggy.
It's yours.
You already...
It won't be a check you'll want to check.
Jim.
He's running for office.
Yeah, he's got a check from me for that.
Is John coming down?
No, it's the guy that took deposition. He's supposed to be here, he said at 9:30. Your gift of any amount would go a long way.
Yeah.
We know $10,000 more than that.
You asked Peggy about whether we, Gary's question would be, able to access the line?
No, she just walked in.
Is he here?
Nobody out there. I'm hoping.
Somebody better call him and see if he's coming.
Well, he knows he should be, maybe he had trouble. Didn't budget for time.
I don't know what he drives.
Some of the surface looks, the surface here and there on where they handed, it looks like it was, well, it's not sealed good. Hopefully it doesn't pop, it'll be in good shape. 'Cause this really looks like you've got pronounced drainage out there now, and
Where he backed up all the time here, he kinda skinned it a little better too when he put his brakes on.
we'll skin her all right here in about 6 weeks.
Yeah, when he moves snow for...
He needs to run over that with a packer.
Do you think out on the north edge, you should haul a couple loads of gravel to protect that, or don't that bother, so people don't...
Shouldn't be people like me driving over that edge.
Oh, I still will.
Me too.
Well, then
We'll
it's,
haul some rock in,
then you should put something on.
I think you better put a couple loads in there.
and don't charge the dang courthouse.
No, I think before I should pave our parking lot too.
Yeah, that's what he says, what's this shit?
Wait your turn.
Why not?
Wait your turn.
Just charge it to Ed Ruddy, Ed Ruddy.
Complain about that.
Ed Ruddy, charge it to Ed.
Well, if you better put it on now, then wait till we start chipping it off, you know, that edge is pretty deep, I'd hate to have it, and especially when they move snow, they're gonna go off of it too, probably.
They just went a little wider to make it look like it's deep, it's really, well, I don't know.
Now it's also recorded.
That's all right, we can start with the weed and chemical coat.
I don't know if she needs to know about all this or not.
Are we still on tape?
No, we're not on tape, we have gone into closed session.
Oh, we're in closed session.
No, we haven't.
Oh, we have, yeah, we're okay then. That's what I mean, so she can come back.
Yeah, it's still lit up down there, isn't it? Yeah.
See the light.
What happened to the sun? I thought we were supposed to have
I
sun
think
today.
there's a little light down there.
Oh, is it on?
We need like a beacon in the center with a red flashing light saying it's on or
I
it's
agree.
off.
Yeah. Put it up on the ceiling, we can tell.
So you know, a little sign says,
We're
on,
still
on air or off air.
She's coming.
Green for on, red for off.
With landowners here, the contractors are talking about the difficulty of the landowners in the area of this project.
Is that why you think some stayed
I
away?
think that contributed significantly. Now, I think between the materials and that is why the increase has been in there. You can't put a number on that.
No, you can't.
Well, if we don't have full
Not
support of
yet,
the
the stuff
landowners,
is laying there, so
we
there's
can't,
something
I mean...
wondering.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
maybe this is one to let set.
Might be. Well, you
There's
need all the facts and
possibility here.
figures.
If they say we're gonna close the wells, period,
Then
then
you
you're
have to
out of
pay
luck.
Yeah, then you pay the full bill yourself.
Pay for 'em.
Well, then, the guys like Gary that have his own drainage, it won't bother him, he'll just have his flood
I don't care
there.
if Washington's got 40 acres underwater.
We got lakefront property now.
That's John
We'll get you all
saying,
the facts
right?
and figures, we'll get people in here.
Well, you
You'll be
can bet
able
he'll
to make
go
a
to court if he doesn't get...
He used to come in here a lot, that John.
Well, I guess
Sayers,
my
that who it
question
is?
is,
No, this is a different phase.
so,
It's not-
they didn't do one out
2
here,
weeks or
okay.
3 weeks
Yep.
now, when we got all the information, says, we don't wanna spend the money. But if we
how are we?
Yep.
Very good. We got two quotes, out of the request for, weed commissioners, from the 7 that were submitted or requested. Again, from CPS Timberland and from Van Diest. Van Diest is, low on the unit cost for vanquish at $55.47 a gallon versus $57.50 from, CPS Timberland. This is our normal quantity, which last year we used this, plus another half quantity of this, I believe. This year, we are a little later than normal, even though we've had a frost already, and it should be time to spray with as many green beans as we've had around up until the last week or so. It's been a little gun shy on spraying any, dicamba out there. But if we're gonna spray, we need to get product, we don't have any, and get after it here pretty quick. What are your thoughts?
Looks like Van Diest got the quote. That's the quality of product you need.
Right, and Van Diest is the parent.
Did you get much complaints on weeds in the ditches like we used to? Driving around, I think we were doing a pretty good job on them. I don't know.
There's a lot of trees in the ditch.
More of that.
We got more trees again now, we got a whole wave of them everywhere you look. As far as, complaints about weeds, we probably get the same complaints and fewer of them because we're doing we're doing what you've requested, and we're not gonna go out there and shoot the individual milkweed or the thistles here and there, in the right of way, and that's, been the complaints. A few years ago, one guy even put flags on the edge of the road wherever he saw thistles along his right of way.
I heard milkweed was a protected plant now, is that true?
Really?
It might be, 'cause the butterflies are,
That's what I heard.
For the monarch.
you might be right.
It's almost a non-existent weed anymore. It's hard to
I've
find
heard
it.
farmers talking about it, and they've been telling
I would
me.
rather see you spend your efforts on trimming trees and forget.
You know, I'm wondering that too, a year.
This year, anyway.
Yeah.
Put our hearts into the tree trim, 'cause they are.
Well, and what we've done with trees is in the wintertime as much as we can.
I understand
The
that.
trees are more prolific, around acreages, we won't blanket spray the garland around an acreage, and that's where we have trouble controlling the trees. We've knocked them down with the mower and whatever we can. That's not weed commissioner, that's secondary roads, different animal, but,
My other concern, a lot of things are kinda already gone to seed for this type of spraying, and we're already
Yeah, that's what I'm
mowing.
wondering.
The mowing's gonna cut down a lot of this stuff.
no, and what we spray for in the fall isn't for the stuff that's gone to seed, it's for thistles. And that knocks it down after the thistles are taking the, product into the root system, and that's about the only way. And we definitely thinned the patches on thistles, I mean, there's some that used to be and are not, or are much smaller, and it's because we keep hitting them. But there's areas, I know what 2,4-D will do to them, but I think we've made some progress. I don't know, we're not gonna do anything to the broadleaf weed, you're correct. And our target isn't the broadleaf weed right now, the target is, thistles, and I don't, well, our guys wouldn't lose any sleep if they didn't spray this year.
Well, I don't know, I don't think it's an emergency situation.
No, that's what I was asking. There's been a lot of people say, complaining about it, or...
I think part of the reason it's gotten a little better is 'cause there's products that farmers are using in their own fields too, that keep them from drifting into, I mean, they drift both ways, it's not all from the ditch.
Part of
They
it,
used to be out in the fields and...
part of it is mowing too.
And
Yeah.
We don't mow the gravel roads, the grass
they
is
don't
tough.
choke them.
We don't see it.
You don't
Children,
see them.
or you just don't see them possibly, yeah.
Before, when we'd mow early, then the thistles and broadleaf would come up in the shoulder where we'd mowed.
Yeah.
And then you'd see it. I mean, it's had better...
Some places got 6-foot-tall prairie grass on their shoulders now.
Yeah, well, it's getting knocked down as we
Yeah.
speak.
I think we could skip it.
But,
Move on.
that was an easy one. Go right on into...
Didn't tell the attorney.
Yeah, he has...
All right.
Yeah, might as well keep rolling.
What we have, the second order of business is to approve construction on county right-of-way from Humboldt County Conservation for construction of temporary access along Xenia Avenue in the northeast quarter of Section 14, Vernon Township. They have property up there, and they're in this areas where they're trying to reestablish Oxbow and introduce Topeka Shiner. Although I'm adamantly opposed against the project, I would...
Funding for it, and they outweigh you.
Yeah, I hear you. They wanna put dirt in to be able to haul the dirt out, and I said, let's just formalize it so everybody knows what's going on. Otherwise, I don't know that it's inter-county permit, but it's gonna be a contractor that does this. I said, let's formalize it, and I put it in and take it out.
I mean,
Dave reviewed it with them. I think I copied, if you want a prettier one, you can see the colored aerial photo. These guys keep pushing for a color copier. Maybe one of the days the Norwegian engineer will spring for one, but right now we have.
and that's, you know, Rick and I know what they're talking about, and they're gonna do it, and
So they're gonna make the Oxbow over here on the...
they're gonna clean it out.
That's over on the east
They're gonna
side.
open it.
Heard he was gonna deepen it, basically, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's on the west side.
Oh, it's on the west side?
It's the west side they're gonna do.
Water here, isn't it?
That's already cleaned out.
The west side,
That's private property.
It's on the west side.
It's on the west side. The east side was private.
To the south of where they're
Gonna
gonna,
hit on Topeka Shiner gonna live in that.
It won't.
And that's the only good thing maybe out of this project.
well, it's probably it's more of a standing water area, it's not much of a current flow through there. It might flow a little now if they open this up, but...
All right.
That being said, they've got a contractor coming to get the dirt, and I doubt they'll get it all at once, so they're gonna need some time to get in there and...
Well, they have an outlet for the dirt,
Yes,
too.
they've got that covered, so...
Where's that going?
Where it going, I'm not sure.
The majority of it is gonna go to the city of Humboldt.
I know what's
The other
going on.
share of it's gonna go to a contractor.
Okay, there's a motion. Conservation here to get the two right-of-way.
I move we approve the right-of-way request by Conservation Department.
For a second,
Second.
any other discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Next,
Next order of business is to approve transfer posting for all area maintenance employees. We're starting the process to fill, the position of our retired foreman in the Humboldt shop. Jeff George, as we've already acted on, took the foreman job, and, we're now opening that position to any current employees that are not within the Humboldt shop. In other words, the two other shops could transfer into, the Humboldt shop based on seniority with this week-long posting. If nobody transfers, then we can then begin the process of, hiring full-time staff for the Humboldt shop. If somebody transfers, then we'll have to
Fill that position.
try to post a posting for somebody that might have to transfer in for that. So this is a week-long process. Sometimes this takes a couple passes. We've had a couple places where people moved and shuffled. I don't know what's gonna happen here, can't tell you.
so we need approval for this?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll make a motion for the posting of the, transfer.
For a second,
Second.
any other discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Tom Huntermark.
Approved construction on county right-of-way and crossing reimbursement costs from Tom Huntermark for a tile crossing on Hawaii Avenue in the southeast corner section, or of the northeast quarter of Section 6 in Rutland Township. I've copied a plat from you, to show that they're indeed in the district. They're right across the road is the open ditch, so there's no downstream property involvement. If there was, it's also their property anyway. There is currently an unknown tile size crossing in the same location, and Tom has documentation that shows it on a I-8 map or something or another. And So I'm saying there is an existing tile there that's 100 years old at least. And, if they wanna cross, I want them to remove and replace this crossing, so we're not gonna end up having to maintain a 100-year-old structure in the future. What we looked at is a drainage area of 100 acres with a 1-inch drainage coefficient, and a 12-inch tile with a 1% slope across the road there is adequate for the outlet. That's why I still stand by, our minimum pipe size of 12 inches for this. Any upsizing is up to, the Huntemarks. They have talked about 15 or an 18-inch to cross at that point. They feel that would be a better size from their perspective. And I'm recommending to the board paying the $1,500 plus about $400 for removal of the old and hookup of the old lines, so we only have one line to maintain instead of two. It's kinda abnormal, a little bit. But, we could have them put a tile in, right in the same area as an old tile, and they wanted to leave the old tile, just because it's running and doing something, but if we're there, I'm proposing we replace it and have one tile instead of two for the future maintenance.
And that will be concrete?
Yeah, it's a RCP, concrete, it's our normal crossing.
They've agreed to pay all this and...
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, otherwise, we discussed the long version, in other words, have a hearing on this and go through, the auditor's office as an improvement and try to seek 100% reimbursement. But it all boils down to, it's obviously along the natural water course to provide a suitable outlet. It's obviously the natural water course because there's already one there. Then it comes back to what's a suitable outlet, depth and quantity. And what they have, I'm guessing, is if it's a 10-inch, they probably have something short of a half-inch drainage coefficient, and if it's an 8-inch, they're less than that, you know. So they have something, but they're trying to look, and Tom's right, he's trying to look at draining the whole thing, because eventually it could all come. Even though that's quarter south of it, the ditch parallels the road along the whole length, I'm sure there's tiles poking through somewhere there. I didn't research it. But we looked at 100 acres with Mr. Jensen. We determined 100 acres was a good sample. 100 acres at an inch drainage coefficient is about, I believe, about the capacity of the 12-inch at 1%.
Okay, you got a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Snow removal. We're gonna snow this morning?
Got that in writing?
Discuss potential no snow removal. Here's the rest of that file. I'll get that out of the way. Just a second. Give it back to when you've done. Anyway, no snow removal. I have a newly revised map to you. I think you got it. It's dated September 2014, and it's got circle or ovals on roads that would be potential closers. I didn't call them proposed. The proposed is what was proposed, I don't know, the last map. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and we, at that time, decided to do nothing at that point. I've thinned and pruned to get to these potentials. As I look at it, and as we're rolling through and trying to derive new snow removal maps for the patrols, I would probably make one change in Delana Township where the two are in 29 and 30 on a mile south of Bowden, a mile west. I would probably take that north-south road and make that, plowed road, and I'd change the east-west road and make that no snow, so that we could come from Bode west and shoot straight south all the way
Right
down to
here.
C-26.
All right.
That would be an interest, because then we could get access, without running, the highways to get it. In other words, it would, be better for snow removal. Otherwise, the only one other road that I'm aware of that's a school bus route is over on Birch Avenue, in Weaver Township, the oval circle there. And every north-southbound road in Weaver Township is a potential school bus route. So, if you look at the choices out there, of the three roads there with nothing miles, I chose the one with the railroad track on it. If it's a school bus route, I wouldn't want them on the railroad track anyway. None of them have structures on them of any consequence. One of our nicest, roads is Delaware, and that's right at, most of you been out on Delaware, and that segment of road, that's where your notorious drainage project started, right there, and that's a nice right-of-way, a nice high grade for the whole section, so that's an easy one to maintain because it's, a well-graded road. Don't know, I wanted to throw it out and seek direction.
Each year you get an update on what the school bus routes are.
I requested it.
That changes when they have kids there or they don't have kids there.
Right.
That's a floating.
That's a floating, that's why, as I understand, Weaver's got so many highlighted through there, it depends on who's riding what day.
Sure.
But I did get complete routes from Humboldt, Twin Rivers, and Gilmore. I did not, get, Goldfield or, Corwith, but there's not anything circled in the Lake or Vernon Township area there.
Not many kids out there.
Now, there's not much of a route, and
Most of it's out of Renwick, and a little bit of it goes through Hardy, a little bit of the outskirts.
I did take, the liberties, for the first time, we looked at one road in northeast of Livermore that might be an issue. That is one of the worst graded road we have, and we did not do the whole segment because there is a Klein acreage up on the north end of this stretch that we would propose to plow roads just to that. Although there's no electrical power, as I understand, to the acreage anymore.
Might be able to find out if they even use it during the winter.
Right, but that's why it hasn't been listed as a nothing mile, because there was an acreage. The other thing that's in that corner is lagoons for the city of Livermore.
Yeah.
And that diagonal road is a real bear, when we get northwest winds blowing, and if we could make that a no snow removal, that saves us a bunch of time. And what all of this would, it'd save us time, take hours off the machine and get us in. It might make us, as we add more of these, it might make us, get things open quicker.
How are they supposed to get to the lagoon then?
I don't know. Yeah, and I don't...
They gotta have water samples, what, every week?
It's, every week or two, something like that. Yeah, and I don't know, whose issue that should be, is that ours?
Well, we could talk to them about it, maybe, see what...
maybe we make it dead-end road at the lagoon, I don't know, we turn around there, but that's the only people needing it.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be the only one that'd need that road.
There's nothing there,
No.
other than a place where people dump the garbage in the ravine.
Well, it is,
What happens twice
Nice
a year,
to
you
hear,
might
huh?
arrange to open it when they need to. Or is that just to be airy?
I hesitate with opening roads that are posted no snow removal for,
I think
like the guy that just walked in, I don't wanna...
See where they're at.
Yep.
Maybe they got a snowmobile or ATV they go out with too.
Yeah.
You know, four-wheeler or something.
Another one is over in Norway Township, another Norway Township in section 5, is this half-mile spur to a bend that they don't use anymore, and the last we knew, they didn't care if we plowed it or not. I think we should formalize it and make it no snow removal.
I do too. Well, I think you did well. I think, you know, it's interesting to me that there is 62 miles with nothing on it. That's...
Oh, there's more than that now.
But it's gonna get worse. But, I mean, we did 12, what did we do the first time? What, 10 and a half?
10 and a half.
You know, I think we've waited quite a while, and that seemed to, you know, people have adjusted to that. I don't think we'd have a lot of trouble with this 15. I don't think we'd have to go any harder than that. Maybe we'd look at it more frequently in the future, but I think 15 would not be out of line. Do you guys? I mean, I've looked at this map. I don't, you know, unless somebody comes in with a real concern that we're missing.
We have other no snow, and we did not update green lines. We have numerous, miles that have showed up in the last 2 years, or they've leveled the buildings. For instance, Colorado, 1 mile east of Odison, that whole stretch of road had 2 building sites on it when we did this, and doesn't have any anymore.
Well, and that's in the future.
It changes
We'll revise this
rapidly.
some more. I mean, this'll keep revising.
And the interesting thing, neither one of them would be a good no snow removal, candidate, because, the other road is plowed by Cassuth County, so we'd have to deadhead a mile to get to it if we did make it no snow removal, thus it's not
One
on
mile
here.
east of...
West Addison,
Okay, okay.
Excuse me, I said east.
Yeah.
East, I would need trouble for my auntie and the treasurer's mother, yeah. That would be a
No, I
bad discussion.
I
haven't,
mean, I've studied my area a little bit,
Mhm.
and I know there's more potential roads.
and you know,
But I
if
think-
there is, we'll have to address them.
Right.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here? What's your wishes?
You better add, keep adding, you know, points.
Try these and see how they fit.
Publish?
I just published that we're gonna close this, the number proposed, and then go from there. If there's a big out...
Put this map, get it in the paper, and formally do a closure next week?
I think you need to just circle the ones that are, you're proposing closing, there's no snow removal.
Just do those for now, don't confuse it with too much.
Yeah, don't confuse them with too much.
Oh, I see, just
Just
the
the
old
ones that...
I need to,
Yeah.
I wanna talk to the city of Livermore.
And you need to do
Yeah,
that.
you need to do that one up there.
And then, I would change the one in Delana Township to a mile south of Bode at this point.
I think showing the current no snow ones and the proposed, or the potential ones would be the way to go.
We'll bring it back, next week, then I'll have some
Clean it up.
discussion, clean it up, we'll bring it back, we'll formalize it, and
The
we'll
yellow
get
and
it.
green ones on there,
In the
then
meantime, I think you probably wanna at least go ahead and make sure you have a few signs on hand, 'cause if we get, okay, 'cause we get later doing this, we wanna have the signs ready to go.
No, I think,
30 days.
and some postals in the warehouse.
Well, you gotta do locates too, don't you, on all this stuff, so that takes time.
well, yeah.
I mean, you gotta locate utilities too, so.
No, we just don't put them in, I
No.
just wanted to know the mechanism for closing, and we'll put it back on the agenda to formalize these miles next week.
Okay.
And we can alter next week, but we can get to Kent, Dave's worked on this, and you can get with Kent, update the map to just reflect, yes, you can. And then the last two, line items, construction and right-of-way for Mid-American and EC Sources, there's no change from last week yet, so.
Okay.
On the driveway for Steve Tool,
Oh,
do
yeah.
that quickly.
Don't know about it.
Well, that don't work, does it?
The map comes back, he wants to extend it on the west side of the one that's in there now, so he can just drive around his tank and come out that way.
Have you denied this, Dave, yet?
Yes,
Okay,
So where's our denial?
it's on the office.
Oh, okay.
you weren't
so
aware
you've been
that,
in-
he wasn't aware this was coming in, I don't think, where you...
Have you got permission from the downstream property owner on this, Dave?
Yes,
You do, that helps.
from that Charlie Brown.
Charlie, so
He redid his driveway.
I see that.
Within the last year.
It looks like new pipe and stuff in there.
Steve wasn't asking for an extra wide one, it's,
He just wants to hook onto his, and they'll have a single driveway, 'cause you're gonna have to anyway with the pipe.
right,
Have to double.
yeah, it'd be a double drive, I'm gonna do shared driveway,
And he was gonna pay for all the...
yes.
How wide is his
Yeah.
driveway gonna add to this?
I think he wanted...
40 foot?
Just wide enough to get
Semi through with them.
No, not semi.
Manure spreader. Manure spreader.
Manure spreaders.
Yeah, it's a
Those
wide
big tanks.
road, so he said it doesn't have to be
Super wide,
super wide.
32 foot
He
maybe.
gonna just
He
take out,
wanted a recommendation about how wide he thought, or we thought.
All right.
but he's got the tractors, duals and whatever, it's probably as wide or wider than a semi.
Oh, yeah,
40 foot. I'd go
definitely.
40 foot.
Yeah, he didn't.
That's what a wide one is.
Well, I'll be done with it if you're gonna, if the pipe comes out right, instead of cutting it in half, you know, it would be the right way.
Yeah, he's gotta go, quite a bit just to get to his property.
Yeah, past that white flag, he's got, you know, 'cause that pipe is...
I would have to double check that, I don't know.
I mean, he's gotta add 20 to get to the white stake, I bet.
Yeah, I think he does.
Is he gonna pull the white stake out, Dave?
I doubt it.
I'd imagine that marks his property line.
That is.
Looks like
Well, he needs
a
a pipe
maybe.
about his property line, probably.
I think...
No, no,
Worried
it-
about cross-contamination with this line.
I understand.
I mean, his Brown's property.
A lot of these facilities do have...
They're very concerned about that these days.
I know they are. They really are. All right, I don't see a problem. I'll make a motion to approve the driveway for...
Hauling the manure out where the semis pull in, so they get the manure on their tires and they track it to the next facility.
That's what's spreading some of this
That's
Or
problem.
that disease floating around.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? No, all in favor? Opposed, motion carried. So no action on the other two items?
All right.
You'll have to bring that up and get a signature.
Yeah, make sure we get everything up to date.
Okay.
Okay.
Paul, did you have a chance to look out at Maze corner?
Dave's, if Dave's got one, we're covered. It came in Friday afternoon, I
I
didn't
made
see
two
it.
copies,
Yeah.
no, I made two copies, one for each one of
Oh.
you, so you both have.
Yeah, you can have mine.
Maze,
You
yeah,
have
that's,
by there?
I haven't been by it, I mentioned it to our staff again,
I took some pictures, you can take those with you, see what it looks like.
yeah, no,
Looks to me
I'm,
like just a little scrape of dirt would get the water to that drain on the west side. I don't know what's on the east side, maybe there's no outlet there. If there is, it should be running back through the flume under the road, it looks like.
I think it takes water, and it takes it slowly, because it's a lateral drain down the road that was put in and not
It may be changing
poured.
waterfall, but when it drains up here, and the water's down here, it can't run uphill. That's the problem. Water doesn't run uphill. I've been out there and put a yardstick in, it's gone down a half inch in a week, so that's evaporation, that's not drainage.
Well, and we've also, I mean, we have a lot of ditches with water
That
in
could be,
them.
but I'd just like to have you look at it.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, I get a call every week on that, and I said, Paul's gonna look at it. They call me back and says he hadn't been there yet, so please go look at it.
We looked at it, our staff looked at it, and he says it's been wet ever since he worked with the county, and it's water sitting in it.
But if I had water in my yard, I'd be a little concerned if it just takes a little ditch to get that water run from the high lip to the low point. I think that's all it takes. They can do it with a spade, but I'd like to have you look at it and tell them what's up. If you would, please.
There's nothing moving in the intakes though at this point, or is
It
there
can't get to
moving?
the intake.
You mean, is there water
Is
in now?
the
That'd be
water
the
moving?
first-
I don't know. First thing, is check the intake, see if it works, I guess.
Well, we were in there 2 years ago, Mick Hatcher was still around, and we had one of the cable companies or whatever with underground utilities, we fixed on the other side of the intersection, and water was moving.
On
And
the
it was
east side,
moving.
on the east side.
On the east side, southeast corner, we worked on it there, and water was moving. Water's moving slowly on many of these,
I think it's moving on that side, but
and the capacity of these things is next to nothing. And when we continue to get rain every third day around here, I'm combining beans where I've had mud that I've never had before too, so.
Well, just check it out, see if we can go from there.
Yeah.
Forget it.
All right, we need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Dave will get you the what's that? Either we'll do it this week or next.
This is not me. Well, I can say that, hey, it's been discussed, you're looking at some more,
No snow removal.
right.
All right.
how's things there between here and Sioux City?
We're plugging along, Mike, one of these chairs.
I'll give you the-
One of these? All right.
They call, forty that bring that up, they call weekly, I wanna get them off the back.
Yeah, I know, but there's water in hundreds of ditches out there.
But if it's somebody we can
You may have to
correct,
send a letter to them.
there's somebody to correct it with, we make,
Yeah, I mean, when he reviews, we can send him a letter.
Well, I think the issue is it's right in front of their house.
yeah,
Yeah.
drive the lawnmower through there,
I
right?
just write your name down.
absolutely.
So we know who you are for this.
My wife mowed through water yesterday, I can tell by looking at the deck.
They haven't had any rain out there though, Paul. That yardstick's been there for a week and it's gone down half inch. I put the yardstick there.
Yeah, I know, but at what point are we respond, I mean, the tile is there and it doesn't work. It's been there 100 years, it was a lateral drain for the roadway that they hooked in,
Maybe there's
and it's
nothing,
got a lot of field
Okay, so this is
tile.
from,
maybe there's nothing we can do, but they need to hear it, that there's nothing we can do. They think there's something we can do. If we can't, we can't.
You got the tape on.
Through that whole curve area.
We just don't wanna put them off for